Peace, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. I'm back to catching that, them strong vibes of, downloads and just insight from higher self. And it's been pointing me to the area of dealing with fixing that lackful mind frame, that subconscious programming that in order to be spiritual, you only could read, you only could deal with occult spiritual knowledge in order to be spiritual. Like, as if, mastering this realm and our being is not the whole, the wholeness of our spiritual aspect. But I want to speak on abundance and what I noticed within my own, growth in universe, and again, just these different signs pointing to this energy. Because, matter of fact, I just come across a movie along what it is. Along with the Gods, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Along with the Gods. And it just kind of gave more of a connection to them, kind of get into that as well, but also has a connection with our ancestors and us. Like right now we're getting rid of like the energies we're transmuting right now is not only dealing with our past lives in essence, but also our grandparents energy being transmuted, on all levels. But again, we talking about in the area of abundance, because abundance is not just money. Abundance is, abundance of crystals, an abundance of information to help others, and it turns into, and it just so happens within this physical matrix, when I go to the store, I'm not really able, again, we're working on changing these things, but when I go to the store to buy me some food, I can't just say, here's this crystal necklace that, I price at $100. So, give me $100 worth of groceries back. It's not the case just yet. But again, just dealing with getting rid of that grandparents lack, and then also tied to this, the book of Enoch, and dealing with the, when Enoch was basically on his DMT trip going within his body, or going within the body, and seeing these seven storms or these seven mountains that these certain souls was locked up in, and they were locked in these seven places up until they learned how to, basically doing what they got to do to unlock themselves from that energy. And this movie, Along with the Gods, the Two Worlds, matter of fact, is on Hulu, and it's basically about passing through the afterlife. And they got this, I don't know if I wrote it down, but this quote basically in connection, I may have not wrote it down, but basically speaking on how it takes 7 days, when a person reaches the afterlife, they are judged 7 times over the course of 49 days, tried by deceit, indolence, injustice, violence, murder, and filial empathy, Filial impiety, Impeity, and Impeity. And only the souls who pass all trials are reincarnated. Now, of course, they were making it seem, which again, it's a balance, because coming back and incarnated in this realm, it is an experience like none other. To be in this physical realm, but some of us, we done been here for so long, it's time for us to, move on. While some souls are having some of their first experiences, or, are dealing with a certain level of cause and effect, aka karma, where they here to work out some karmic energy within this physical realm. But, I remember Bobby Hemmett speaking to some, in some way, the words of like how, your ancestors are like your public, almost like a public defender, because that's how that movie was. Like, it was going through the trial of murder and seeing if this soul had caused murder in the physical plane, you know. And I done spoke on the afterlife being in the effects of your judging yourself, you know what I'm saying. And again, in connection with the ancestors being within us and we being interconnected with the ancestors, is that ancestor energy that's always looking out for us. So when we're doing this altar work and connecting with the ancestors, the energy is like, wait, hold on, don't touch him or her in this situation, because look at, you know, these other situations, they done did this or that and helped out. Or, you know, it's kind of like, again, like a public defender, help pleading your case in essence and going through each chakra. And you also, again, had this connection with the 49 quote-unquote good angels or planetary angels. And you can almost look at like the seven planetary energies times the 7 chakras, you know, are the positive aspects of the planets and negative aspects of the planets, along with the chakras, you know, and coming out to like 49 different combinations of different personalities within our psyche, you know, and how that breaks down. But we're not going to get too deep in that. Just more so speaking of abundance, because right here I was doing did my first commission custom piece, and I looked at, you know, down to the crystals I got and everything. I'm like, bruh, and just being excited the whole time, like, bruh, this is so exciting. This person is really going to love this piece of jewelry. And I'm looking at, to the point where, you know, to a certain extent I underpriced it, because I did, you know, I kind of somewhat over exceeded even what I thought I was gonna do and deal with. But like, being excited, you know, about this commission and about this custom, and I'm seeing, you know, again, how money is energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a current, like, that's why they call it currency, because it's a current, there's a flow of current, you know, the bank that you put your currency at, you know what I'm saying, like on side the river, because the river flows, you know, and has a certain current. And, you know, we got the riverbank on the side. But anyway, you know, just seeing, because right now it's time for us to really step out of that, you know, that non-abundant lack consciousness and trying to justify it as something spiritual. You know, again, when I look at the leaves and plant life and just, you know, again, things in nature in general, you know, everything seems to be abundant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see one piece of grass per acre, or one leaf per branch. You know what I'm saying? I see a abundance of leaves, I see abundance of grass, you know. Or even if it's a dry plate, like, everything is in abundance, because even if it's a dry plate, it's in abundance, you know what I'm saying? But realizing, like, also with pricing my jewelry as well, you know what I'm saying, seeing that it's a lackful mind frame that's causing me to even say, for instance, I had the mind frame, oh, let me make my jewelry cheap so people could afford it. But it's like, you know, what's happening right there is basically what's going on is inner work being personified outwardly. It's us trying to make an excuse for that lackful mind frame within ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So we go back, instead of, like, again, like I used the analogy, standing with somebody going in a quicksand, instead of hopping in with them, you stand on higher ground and reach your hand out. Because the moment that you, in order to compensate, or let me hop in there with you, then now it's 2 people stuck in quicksand, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, and from other people, matter of fact, shout out to Preston Smiles, you know, definitely check out his channel, dealing with, you know, aspects of connecting with abundance. Because, like, I remember him saying something about paying for these certain little classes. And, you know, of course, like, because another thing, too, we got that mind frame of, oh, I ain't got to, you know, pay for no life coach, or, you know, no type of occult lesson sessions, or, you know, I ain't got to pay for that type of stuff. That's crazy. But, you know, but you see the outcome for it, you know, where people who take these classes, or you know, go through these life coaching sessions, or just, you know, certain little aspects within that realm of reality, you know, how much they grow from it, you know. and realizing again, money is an energy, because in whatever way, form, or fashion, whether you work the 9 to 5 or you're an entrepreneur and you gain that energy, aka money, and say for instance, when you invested in some type of class or something like that, you're gonna make sure that you take that class. Like, I'm not gonna spend $1,000 or $500 or whatever, the case may be, on a class and then not go to it. You know what I'm saying? So when we put that energy is an investive energy. You know what I'm saying? And not, oh, that's money, the root of all evil. That they, again, and there's also that them and us mind frame, that the poor against the rich. Because some people, again, with the spiritual vibes, are like, these people charging for divinations and readings, and that's more so gonna come from people who's not doing that type of work themselves. Because anybody out there that's doing any of this type of work is seeing some type of abundance from what they do, unless they got a subconscious mind frame that I have to suffer in order to be, spiritual in essence. But anybody who's doing this type of work, you know what I'm saying, because you're help bringing value to others, so the universe is going to bring value to you. So you start to realize that it's only a subconscious programming of lack that keeps us in a place of not being abundant, no matter how much we give and how much we help. It's a subconscious programming feeling like I got to be a martyr who suffers, or I got to be somebody who's poor in order to be spiritual. Now, this aspect is real. Like, of course, money isn't everything. And of course, you can get lost in the sauce of dealing with the material realm. But that's the whole thing. That's what us doing the conscious work is for us to be consciously aware that, I am the abundance. I am the wealth. I am the prosperity. And my life experiences is, having, loving life, and the life experiences I have due to loving life is the abundance within itself, and not just actual money, but money is a byproduct of that, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about the analogy of like our non-abundant self being like a little cute, like little Gizmo. I don't know, I might be going a little too throwback for some, but like a Gizmo from the movie Gremlins. But Gizmo is like the little cute little gremlin, you know what I'm saying, without getting all nasty and ugly. But that non-abundant part of ourself is like a little cute little gizmo that, although it's cute, you know what I'm saying, it looks so cute, I just want to feed them and and take care of them, but although it's cute, because you're also seeing it as cute because it's in a little small non-harmful vibe, you know what I'm saying, like it's in the appearance of, say for instance, like making something cheap, or doing something, giving something to somebody at one time, like, oh man, that homeless person, or this and that. But then, if you was to just constantly give out all your money to every houseless person you see, or feel obligated, then you eventually be that houseless person looking for somebody to help you, you know what I'm saying? But that non-abundant self, it's like that cute gizmo, and the more you feed it and keep giving it handouts, it's gonna grow into a monster or a gremlin that's gonna always be looking for those handouts, always looking for. And that's the thing I realize, instead of feeling like sorry or like, oh man, people who which again is more of a lack for consciousness. It's not that these people don't have the same resources. Again, to some extent that is true, but they do have the same resources because they do have a consciousness just like everybody else, and and the books and the information is out there for that person to tap into it, especially when it's been presented and they have been in denial of that. And I spoke of that as well, like you never know anybody's plight, you know what I'm saying, like, to feel sorry for, of course we got a level of empathy when we see somebody that may be houseless or going through that little quote unquote struggle, but realizing like they going through it for some reason, like they must have some type of subconscious programming that's blocking them from this abundance, because it's a fact and proven that 90.9%, 99% of what we do, say, and act upon you know, is ran by our subconscious mind. So our subconscious programming, man, you know, basically dictates what manifests into our realm, you know. But yeah, that lack abundance. So like, you know, and again, it's coming from looking for things to be cheaper instead of looking to do the work that would transmute that energy. You know what I'm saying? So instead of looking for things to be cheaper, looking for the strength to grow away from that lackful mind frame. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when I look at my jewelry, like it feels good to have my jewelry, you know, with that abundant vibe and looking, you know, fresher and crisper. You know what I'm saying? And again, it was that, you know, that motivation, because I didn't even think I was gonna finish that. You know what I'm saying? In that time, but you know, with that commission and that vibe of like, all right, you know, with that energy put into it, I'm gonna make this a very exclusive item. You know what I'm saying, for this person. You know, and again, money is just a tool. It's an energy. You know what I'm saying. We gotta, you know, deprogram the old stuff and reprogram. And again, we dealing with our grandparents, lackful way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? We, you know, and that makes me think too. That video I did not too long ago about like bringing, you know, other souls into this realm. You know, again, there's no good or bad things to I experience, but you know, like they coming in learning these lessons about how basically it being in this physical realm is almost a lesson in learning how God or source energy moves in a 3D realm, like in its thickest, most dense, you know, physical aspect of being. You know, like we learn about the slow process of being a god, because you know, in these higher realms and things of this nature, you know, as soon as it's thought of, it's created. You know, because as a matter of fact, and that's a whole nother video, but like with the aspect of like the 7 chakras or the 7 deadly sins, you know, say for instance the vibration of jealousy, for example. Like the moment consciousness first caught the vibration of jealousy, that became a thing, a consciousness, almost like a god within itself. Like, you know, like jealousy being a god, you know, and from that first thought of even having it, you know, it expanded from there and created, you know, again, a bunch of beings with the lineage of, you know, jealousy, you know what I'm saying, coming from that first conscious thought or idea, you know. And also too, you know, I realized with somebody like, so as I'm getting in this abundant mind frame, something may come up where there's a family member, a friend, or somebody, or just anybody that may be looking for something a little cheaper. You know, like, oh man, you ain't got nothing a little cheaper. And you may think like, oh man, you see, the universe does want me to make things cheap. And no, it's not. What's happening is again, we shifting dimensions, and our old ways of thinking, you know, is a whole nother older dimension. And what's happening now is the universe is, or higher self, you know, your higher self is testing that lesson loop, like to see if you really made growth and progress in this area. Because the moment you realize, like, oh no, I don't have to make things cheap, you know, and as you stand in that energy, then, you know, that person that was, you know, looking to get something for cheap, oh man, you know, I came across some money or this and that happened, and now I'm able to get, you know, what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a person growing out of a lackful mind frame, not us having to always constantly give handouts. Because, you know, like like the expression goes, if you always, you know, you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And also too, teaching a person how to fish, but not fishing for that person. You know what I'm saying? You know, because again, like I'm doing jewelry, I have more than enough videos speaking on how to, you know, deal with our subconscious and work on these energies. You know what I'm saying? Moving forward, but it's just basically our old programming testing our growth into our new realm of consciousness and into the new realm of programming. So as much as we always like, oh yeah, the universe testing me or God testing me, that's somewhere still falling back into that Christianic mind frame of you got a sky daddy that's testing you all the time. Like these stories of Job and, you know, and the devil coming and let me test Job out, and God, the man in the sky, was like, oh, Job is the best. could try all you know, it's not, it's, you know, it's your higher self, you know what I'm saying? The ancestors, that's all aspects of of ourselves as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, in some way, form, or fashion, you know, have unique individual energies or soul sparks, but you know, interwoven and interconnected with us and in our being as well, you know. But and I think about somebody else having a video too earlier. It's like, well, people be like, you know, like, say for instance, imagine if we just always did free dividend. Like, if I just read tarot cards for free all the time and just did videos for free all the time and just, and that's another thing too, because yes, we do, you know, it is about being of service to others, you know what I'm saying, and you know, and doing things without expecting anything in return. Because, like, if you think about it, like, my YouTube channel, you know, started that without getting anything, you know, just doing what I love, and then the money started to follow. Then I started getting donations, and then I started building up, you know, a certain level of family, you know, and subscribers, where, you know, now the YouTube payments are actually heightened, you know what I'm saying? But it's not from running ourselves dry. You start to realize how much of a balance that our growth actually is, you know, balancing these energies, you know. And even down to, like, the agent vibe. Like, the reason why, again, you know, rich people seem like the rich people, or like they evil, or this and that, you know, that has a lot to do with the abundance that you experience. Because why would you want to be an evil, like, you know, again, if you, because you made this label in the first place within your own subconscious. But, you know, when you're looking at money as evil and bad and things of this nature, then, you know, your higher self is your wishes, your higher self's command, you know what I'm saying? So if you think that's bad and evil, the universe won't send you none of that abundance, you know what I'm saying, or none of that wealth, you know what I'm saying? As much as it was funny, it'll still knock at your door to say, because, hey, you know, don't you want to sustain yourself, you know? Because, again, we're not here to depend, like, we're not here to be sitting around looking for a sandwich for somebody else all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Think about that. Like, how much of, you know, us being source or God on a human experience, but yet, you know, we're just, again, that's the extreme. Like, it's a balance. Of course, we shouldn't be afraid to ask others for help, and, you know, and others can help us in certain situations. But, you know, again, it's a balance. We got to be willing to help ourselves and be doing the work that's helping ourselves, and not just sitting around looking for a handout, you know what I'm saying? And feeling like you got to be a martyr or be somebody who just basically, you know, just throw your energy away constantly, you know what I'm saying, without replenishing yourself, you know. But yeah, from sessions of divinations, you know, that take time, you know, it takes time to sit there and do jewelry, you know, it takes time to sit with somebody and do you know, a psychic reading, or just you know, whether it's life coaching session, or, you know, classes on the Kabbalah, or, you know, astral travel, or, you know, Akashic readings. You know, it take, like, cause think about it, like, how could a person even do good readings all the time if they constantly struggling and starving, and, you know, and feeling insecure because they depending on somebody else for, you know, food and clothing and shelter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the illusion, to, again, to think that, you know, spirituality or being spiritual is about being poor, or no, you know, because, again, are lost in that illusion of them against us, or, you know, it's the rich people, and we trying, because of course we trying to break down the capital, you know, the capitalism, from the egotistical standpoint of, you know, it being something that's just solely focused on the material realm of things. But, you know, it does take, that's a part, again, a part, in order for roses to smell so good, shit have to stink, you know what I'm saying? In order for there to be a non-physical realm, there's a physical realm, you know what I'm saying? These aspects exist for a reason, you know. But again, like just seeing how, you know, money is just a current of energy. It's an energy flow, you know. Again, with doing my own, doing jewelry, you know, and doing this custom piece, man. This person is basically getting one of the best pieces I probably ever made, you know, next to some of the ones I made for myself, you know. Cause that was the thing too. What I would always make the good ones for myself. But it was more so my own mind frame of thinking like, oh, ain't nobody gonna want to pay for what, you know, I truly should charge for this, you know. So I'm gonna just wear it myself, you know what I'm saying? But it's getting out of that mind frame that, you know, that people, you know, are lacking, because then I attract that energy, you know. So it's like that feeling of abundance, you know, like not being uptight about abundance, but at the same time consciously aware of how we, you know, spending our abundance. Same with anything, because again, money is energy. So with the same thing with us, like where are we spending our energy and our time? What are we consuming? What, you know, what areas are we spending the most time in? You know what I'm saying? Because that that all comes back around, you know, with energetically, you know. But again, like instead of having that lackful mind frame of looking for something to be cheaper, you know, doing the work and transmuting that energy, you know, and getting to a place where you realize that, you know, you are abundant and that you can manifest all of these things, you know. But it's just from getting out of that lackful mind frame. And now you start to see how strongly our subconscious takes certain informations and lessons and run with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a constant work. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody could be watching this right now, and that person that's feel like, oh no, I still think you gotta be poor to be spiritual, and that's taking people money. Then, you know, again, it's just that vibration. You know, I understand, you know, being lost in that sauce, because again, I once was, you know, and I'm constantly working on it right now, you know what I'm saying, to get myself completely out of that mind frame, you know. But it's you know, realizing the unfairness of others having, like, you know, these other people got things and why I ain't got nothing, you know. That's our own subconscious work. And again, as a soul who picks his parents and picks his situations, you know, again, we dealing with karmic energy, you know, that, you know, not necessarily that we picked out for ourselves in that sense, but, you know, working out energies that, you know, from our own incarnations as a soul, and then within the bloodline of our ancestors, you know, transmuting these energies, you know. But again, you know, you keep handing Gizmo a sandwich, Gizmo gonna keep looking for a sandwich, you know, and it's gonna turn from, you know, again, because that's just how certain things are when it's in its earliest stages. It's all cute and all cuddly, and then and when you keep feeding it, it turns to a monster, and it's like, oh shit, I can't even contain this little, you know, this little animal that was once a little cute little animal. Now it's like a big monster in essence, you know. And again, with that agent energy, if I didn't speak on that a lot in that video, like speaking on like these agents in the area, like from my psychedelic journeys in Venice, you know, realizing it was a balance. Like, of course, it was like the energies of my, you know, like my brethren's pointing out certain people that, you know, may have been, you know, some people to like, hey, you know, like, just know that this LA and that things move fast and everybody not who they say they are, you know. But at the same time, you know, a lot of, like, we see agents, you know, like somebody an agent to us, or this person is any area of growth that we looking at as bad, you know, or we frowning upon, you know, a person embodying that energy is gonna seem like an agent to us. So anybody that's enjoying life and you know, enjoying their abundance and living life, and they may, you know, dealing with the spiritual vibes, you know, of like doing like life coaching sessions or classes, or you know, they might have a crystal shop that, you know, where the jewelry are, you know, jewelry priced at a little higher prices, quote unquote. You know, you may be, oh, that's an agent or this and that, and it's not as much as an agent as much as it's an agent towards your own, you know, your own soul psyche. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still scared of that part of yourself, so you're gonna still see people embodying that energy as something to be scared of, you know, or something to fear, you know. Giving, matter of fact, giving credits more, I mean, giving agents more credits than they deserve in essence too. Outside of that, you know, outside the money vibration, again, like with in which I got videos on that, like if you type in universal frequencies and LSD or acid, matrix breakdown, I think was one where I was speaking on it, you know. And just because again, when you dealing with psychedelics and you dealing with them with other people, you know, our energies become open to each other, and I'm picking up on the subconscious programming that person dealing with, as well as them picking up on my subconscious programming, you know. So it's just a big lesson learning situation. But again, you know, not having to take step backwards, you know what I'm saying, and feel like you got to give handouts in order to be spiritual, and again, not giving handouts on the extreme. You know, of course, I do a lot of work, again, because we're gonna do a lot of work that's charitable and that's free, charitable, quote unquote. You know, but say for instance, like again, I have like over 1,000 videos of information that's basically a free game. You know, YouTube doesn't charge anyone to watch videos, you know. So, you know, I got that, you know, I got the fact that when I'm around and out and about in my day, certain times and certain places, you know, I may give out crystals to certain people, you know, if higher self calls me to it, you know. It is all those different aspects, but again, it's a balance, you know, being in this realm but not of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause taking care of ourselves is a part of a healthy root chakra. You know, you could lie to yourself as much as you want and tell yourself, you know, going without shelter and wondering where your meal's coming from. You know, you could lie and tell yourself that's something spiritual, you know, which, I mean, and honestly, it is, you know, if you want to be technical, you know, that you're just in your struggle aspect. You're, you know, dealing with a certain shadow aspect of yourself, you know. But like looking at it in the sense again, because that's how they throw things off too, with the word spiritual being used almost as if it's a religion. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that person's spiritual, that person's a religious person. You know what I'm saying? It's like that word even being taken out of context. But again, you know, it's all right to you know, if you're an artist, you know, no matter what you do, you know, you said that it took time. You know, your consciousness is beautiful, you know, and unique, and a beautiful, unique experience, you know. Another person is dealing with whenever they, you know, dealing with your artwork, you know, no matter what your art may be, from music to painting to jewelry or whatever, you know, or whether, you know, you're doing Reiki work, you know, divination, whether it's astrology or tarot readings, oracle read, you know, like, you know, people doing this type of work have to replenish themselves. You know, you gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just again, a martyr vibe of, because matter of fact, being a martyr is an unhealthy heart chakra. So, you know, you got an unhealthy heart chakra, with the martyr vibe, and also unhealthy root chakra with the vibe of like not taking care of ourselves, you know. So here it is where these are two facts of being unhealthy in the chakra system. So again, as much as you would like to make an argument for your lack, because that's what you would be doing in that moment if you would be still trying to, and again, to each his own. You know, because we all done argued for our insanity, you know, at some point. Like, say, for what I mean, like, where a person arguing the point that a 40 ounce of beer is healthy or good. Like, oh, no, man, you know, I could still drink 1,040s and be as strong as an ox or this and that, whatever, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, or, you know, being spiritual is about not having no money at all, and you know. But again, uh, we shift in dimensions, and of course that, you know, again, and that's the whole aspect, is all in the work, is just that old lackful part of ourselves. We feel sorry for it, you know. We feel like, oh man, matter of fact, as above so below again with the being too nice. It's like being too nice with the old aspects of ourselves that no longer serve us. Like, you know, like, all right, you could sit down and play with that aspect of yourself if you want, but know that all of your, you know, the suffering on the abundant level comes from that subconscious programming and going backwards in that area, you know. It's like, you know, like, I don't never feel bad about, you know, spending money on the healthy foods that I love. You know, I don't eat stuff from Walmart anymore. And I'm not going back to eating stuff from Walmart. So I'm not going to make crystals cheaper, you know, just because somebody may not understand the, you know, the aspect of abundance, you know. And again, that's not to say that I'm not balancing things out and do have things where I'm helping out, or I have free information, or, you know, but in some way, form, or fashion, you know, again, it's a balance. You're gonna be of service to others in a very, you know, affordable, quote unquote, manner. But at the same time, and I say and at the same time, because it's not even a rebuttal, you know, but, and at the same time, whatever else you're doing, you know, being sustained for your energy. You put energy into it. So why, like, if I sit there and put all my energy into something, like, you know, like, how, you know, how do you get energy back if you're constantly, you know, if I go to crystal bead shops and I'm out of revenue because I just did nothing but bracelets for free, and now, you know, you say, for instance, that's when the more unhealthy thought frames will pop back up again, because now you might be thinking, nah, I gotta steal or rob or do something, and all, you know, because I'm not sustaining myself properly due to some subconscious programming that's constantly hindering, you know. So I'm just realizing that, and it's a collective shift, you know. It, it's something, that's why we do feel those vibes though sometimes, to like, you know, well, let me make this a little cheap or whatever, because, you know, it's a constant growth in some aspects of our, you know, growth is a little, you know, it takes a little more time than other areas, you know, but at the same time, you know, not going backwards, you know, because we are like a North Star, you know, in the essence of like a North Star in the sky, where you could look up and know, all right, this is the star to follow to go this way, you know. And that's how our energies are, like what we doing are a blueprint and an example for, you know, for others to come, you know. Matter of fact, that's also how I speak on, like, with, you know, with certain ancestors too, like, you know, like a Haile Selassie or certain beings, you know, a Christ energy, or, you know, or even the Set or Saturn energy, you know, things not to be worshipped, but just to, you know, realize that blueprint within, you know, the way those energies move, you know what I'm saying? Like, not, you know, not energies to be worshipped, like, you know, to know where I'm going, you know, again, following the North Star is not, oh, let me worship the North Star to know how to follow the North Star. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where to go. It's like, nah, I just need to, you know, use that North Star by example and go in that direction and move like that North Star moving. I don't have to, you know, worship it, you know, and give off my energy, because that's a test within itself, you know, coming down to this realm and making sure you remember, you know, the God energy within yourself enough to not be, you know, giving your soul away to other energies, you know. But that's basically it. Peace, peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. We're not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Alright, now, you know, see it. Remember, man, abundance, man, currency, current. It's a flow. Peace.